Welcome back to another live episode of the Relevant Recruiter Show. Today, I am joined by Richard Rosner. If you don't know Richard, you're going to know him today. We're going to get after it. Richard is the founder of Staffing Shark, and the Staffing Shark helps people, companies, and staffing firms reach their goals, and they also recruit local talent for local businesses. Now, Richard and I are going to be discussing how to capture the attention of job seekers. As you guys know, preaching to the choir here, is an incredibly hot market right now, which means there's a lot of competition for outreaches and capturing that attention. So Richard's going to share some of his awesome techniques that he has through proven experience of years doing this. So Richard, thank you for hanging with me on the Relevant Recruiter Show today.
Hey, anytime, Donnie. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah. So a little bit of accent there. Where are you at? Back East Coast somewhere, yeah?
In Pittsburgh, man. Come on, man. Yunzers, right?
Yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers or what?
You know what? Even though I got the black and gold behind me, the Shark, I'm a Patriot fan, man. So
okay.
I'm one of the most hated people in Pittsburgh. But no, I do. I give him props. But I'm a Patriot fan for life, buddy.
I can imagine. I'm a Niners fan, so we're now playing catch up with you guys. So
there you go. That's right.
Awesome. So Richard, do us a favor, man. Give us a little background. How did you get into the staffing industry?
Wow. How much time do you have? So in my previous life, I used to be a probation officer. So did that for about 10 years and decided to move to the big city. So moved to Pittsburgh, and I was looking for a job in sales. Recruiter found me, and after we connected, he called. He said, "Hey, kid," he's like an old school guy, been in it for about 30 years. "Why don't you just become a recruiter for my staffing firm?" And I'm thinking, what? You want to find people jobs? And he said, "I'll give you a sweet deal. You can live in New York City, and the office will be in New York City, and the apartment will be in the back. Do it for a year, and then you could be a rock star." So I took him up on the offer, and about 3 or 4 companies, here I am later, man, after about 11 years.
Nice. So how long, you said 11 years ago is when you got to start in the space?
Yeah, 11 years, been through different companies. And actually in every company has been a promotion. So, you start out as a recruiter, then you move off to the branch manager, the regional directors. And now I have my own, which I love it. It's the greatest industry in the world. I tell everybody, coming from the law enforcement to this, you got nothing on it, man. Staffing is incredible.
Right. Why do you think, I want to kind of elaborate on, why do you think that this is such a great industry?
Because we're helping people. Every day is fun, energetic, and I know everybody probably knows me out there, man. I post everything 24/7, positive vibes the whole time.
Right.
And I love my workforce, man, because Donnie, we're both coaches, and I use that football coach just like you would too, that, it's teamwork. Without the job candidates and without putting in the work, I don't have a job. The Shark doesn't exist. So I treat that in everything I do. And anybody I'm around, I have a passion for everybody, passion for people, man.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. I've seen some of your stuff. I know that the energy is never lacking. So,
and I do it in a different way. We'll get into this in more detail, but it's like, I do it the Shark way. It's like some of the posts I have, I go with what's going on, just like the Olympics. You'll be seeing a lot of postings on gold medals in Olympics now. So I can pull that crowd right there.
Right. Yeah. And I think you bring up something important there, is like, you do it the Shark way, right? You're doing it your way. You're not trying to do it Donnie's way. You're not trying to do it somebody else's way, or trying to find approval. And I think that's where you get the best results from it.
Totally agree. You got to be different in this industry. And if I can tell anybody out there, and you hear me say this over and again, do not put now hiring. Everybody puts now hiring. And I say this on all the shows I'm on. You got to get hired. We want you. You got to resonate to them.
Right.
Like you're talking to them. Like you're just right there, part of them. I want you. And I think this is one of the big things that we'll jump into, and we can jump into it right now, because I'm excited, Donnie. If you're ready to jump into this, we'll do it, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Jump right in.
All right, brother. So I think the biggest thing is video. Video resumes are taking off.
Yep.
And if I can tell anybody, video resumes are here to stay. Everybody still wants the black and white resume, and people look at it. I put a video resume together for my candidates. Within 2 minutes, boom, they're already to the hiring manager. Just picture that, Donnie. You're the hiring manager, buddy. You're sitting home with all your kids, and you look down at your phone, you see 3 links. It says John Smith and Sally, and you just click on it. Within 2 minutes, you're going to hear everything that they have, all their credentials, and why you should interview them. You're doing it right at your house on your couch or in a picnic. It works. And that's something I tell everybody. You won't believe it. And one thing that gets backlash, and I'm going to tell you 100% it's not true. Well, they're going to judge me on maybe my character, my lingo, or my looks. No, they're not, because you know what? They're going to judge you on that when you go to interview anyway.
Yep.
So why go through all these steps for 3 months and you get eliminated that way? Let's be real. Let's get it right off the bat. But that's one thing I'm going to say right now, that recruiters out there, man, and everybody out there, jump on the video resumes. And if you need any help with that, always reach out to me, man. I'm always here to help.
Yep. That's awesome. Yeah. And I've been pushing my clients on the video side as well. Not only just video marketing, but just from video communication. I think this is just a whole new world. Video resumes, you're bringing up a point, but you can do just straight video direct messaging. Yes. I've got a workshop with that right now. It's just insane what that does to your response rates, because it's different than what they're seeing on a regular basis.
You're totally right on that. And I realized video about 5 years ago. I'm at the airport, Donnie, and you're going to love this, man. And I see people scrolling on Facebook and maybe MySpace back in the day. We all had that. But they're scrolling. Yep. What are they stopping on? I watch this, all videos, or if it's a standstill picture, something with vivid colors and stuff. So I'm thinking, we got to start doing videos in everything. Right. You only got that, you only got 3 to 7 seconds to capture that audience. So if they're a job seeker, what's going to make them stop on the Shark or stop on Donnie's?
Right.
Job description. You got to have vivids out there. You got to have visuals that are going to pop.
Yep.
And one thing I want to say is, it doesn't have to be boring. You don't have to put a welder out there.
Yep.
You can have something fun about that. If you see any of my stuff, my content, I do during holidays. March Madness, I call it hiring madness. I have basketball players going up and down the field. I get 20 to 30 candidates a week just because of that, because I'm tapping into the March Madness fan base.
Right.
Anything. St. Patty's Day. The Leprechaun got a job this year. Hey, 10 more people get a job just like the Leprechaun. See what I'm doing? I'm taking people out of just the boring lifestyle and putting them into like a Disney world of staffing is what I call it.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. Energy, and people love that. Every time I get a job seeker on the phone, they're like, dude, you got more energy than I ever heard in my life. Right. And I'm excited to work with you. And even if you don't give me a job, I'm still going to call you for positive reinforcement.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing you bring up there is great is going back to the whole video thing is like, that's, I think, the most powerful thing of video, no matter which application you're using it, whether it's for business development, for, video resumes, candidate sourcing, people can buy your energy that way. You can't buy somebody's energy as much via written text. It's just, you can get an idea of a feel for somebody, but nobody's going to be able to go, Richard, man, like you show up so much different, and I think that's great that you kind of take those different angles like that.
Exactly. And I think captions are big too. And you probably agree on this.
Yep.
So many people you post on social media. Do you think they read that big paragraph after your video? Probably not.
Right.
So just put the captions in the video. I mean,
100%.
we're all in this, I'm going to say it, we're all in this hyperactive lifestyle now. I mean, we're on our phones 24/7. How many times are we on our phone a day? Seriously. It's like,
well, here's a case in point for you. I was just in jury duty. I got called this morning. And so I'm sitting in there waiting for the, I don't know all the proper terms, but I'm sitting there waiting to go in front of the judge to get my excuse. And while I'm sitting there, I'm watching videos, but I can't have volume on because there's a bunch of people around me. So what am I doing? I'm just watching the video, reading the captions. And I think that's one of the things that people, to your point, is like people are waiting in line. It's just a busy society. And if you have an opportunity to capture that attention, a lot of people watch videos without sound. So captions absolutely have to be a part of it.
Exactly. And we have to be, and if I say this anymore, we have to be entertaining. We have recruiters. I don't call myself a recruiter. I'm a job agent. I'm your Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Show me the money, show me the job.
Yeah.
And I say that's an icebreaker right there, Donnie, for somebody.
Yep.
I don't interview any of my candidates. We have a beer chat or a coffee chat right off the bat, man. I'm breaking bread with them because I want to build a relationship with them so they can spread the word to other people too. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we have to learn now is to be ourselves.
Yep.
And there's no, back in the day, we all had it, you had to wear, a suit, to a meeting and stuff like that. No, if I'm going in a factory, I got jeans on and a flannel tucked in and I'm ready to work with them. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I think, and I think that's a good point. And I want to kind of ask you, I mean, how have you, I know a lot of people, I work with a lot of people in the space and they're afraid to be themselves. Right. how have you been able to get comfortable just saying, hey, I'm going to create a beer chat, or, you know, a cup of coffee versus, hey, let's have this in, you know, how are you, did you have to go through anything to get comfortable kind of branding yourself as, you know, a job, you know, job agent, if you will?
Job agent. Okay. Yeah. No, I blame this on my mom, and you're gonna laugh at this. Since I've been 3 years old, I've had pictures of myself over and over, videos. She had the big video cameras in the 80s. Richie, we're in Florida. Say it. I was always in front of a camera or a picture all my life.
I love it.
So I always created myself. And it was kind of funny because my mom and dad wanted me to be something else in life. You know, they said, right, state trooper, this. And I said, no, Mom, I'm going to just create my own life. Right. And they used to always joke because they called me Richie. They said, Richie did it his way. And right. My whole life has been always about creating my own content, creating my own life, and really not caring what other people think, right, but also being positive. Because if I can give any advice out there today, don't be jealous of anybody. You know what? At the end of the day, we're all in this together.
Yep.
And we all learn. My grandpa, before he passed away, said the smartest thing you can do is learn from everybody and be a sponge and just grab all that knowledge. And when you're about 50, man, you're going to have a PhD in common sense. Right. And the rest is history. But I think that's the biggest thing. We can't be closed-minded. We got to open our minds to all gates.
Yep. Love it. Love it. Let's dive in a little bit deeper onto that, you know, capturing the attention of the candidates. You know, obviously right now, it feels like almost any market that you're in, people are busy. People have got plenty of job orders. You know, now the challenge has changed into, how do I get the attention of these, you know, people that some don't want to risk leaving a job because of uncertainty. Other people who've got this great resignation going on, you know, like, how are you, what are some of the tips you've got on terms of capturing, you know, candidate attention?
I think, once again, here we go. We just got to be different. And the way that I'm capturing it is, first thing is, right now there's festivals going on. Yep. I am hitting every festival that you could imagine. Tomorrow there's a big festival that's going to be there. Guess what? They're all my recruiters. And then the word spreads from there. One of the biggest things during the pandemic that I did that I didn't see a lot of people do, I tapped into the delivery service. I teamed up with Papa John's. I teamed up with Fox Pizza, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, because they're all franchises. People don't understand that. Go in there, explain them what's going on. You want to help the community. And they put a top tag on every pizza. It says, now hiring staffing shark. Can I help you? Right. Simple things like that. No, nothing about job descriptions. Can I help you? I think the biggest thing is, Donnie, to attract attention is we got to keep it simple. Nobody looks at a big job description anymore. If you see all my job descriptions, if I give any tips out today, there's a 4-letter word in recruiting. It's called text. Texting is the wave of the future. It's here now. Right. Nobody looks at their emails anymore in light industrial. I swear to God, you get on Indeed and people's like, well, they're not responding back to me. They haven't logged in their Indeed account in like 3 weeks. But right. A text, and you know this, Donnie, as soon as you text somebody, they're responding back as what? Boom, just like that. You call them, they don't have a voicemail set up, or they never call you back. Am I right?
Yep. Got it. So that's huge. You know, I want to elaborate. So like when you're talking about festivals, you're talking about boots on the ground, interacting with people at festivals. Is that what you're talking about? Like actually showing up to this?
Like, okay. So the county fair, we have local county fairs in the Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio area. That's where I got my twang from. So it is what it is. Got it for life, man. Hey, you know what? I could never say I'm from New York, man, ever. They're like, no, you're not, dude. Yeah. You're from the country somewhere in a farm field. But no, I'm right there. I set up a booth, or actually, you know, I'll have all kind of vendors there that will pass out the stuff for me. I use all the resources I have in the community, social workers, because everybody wants to help somebody else out find a job. Right. So use them all. And when you do that stuff, the rest is history. My referral rate is probably 99.9. I mean, I had a job last year. They need 50 people, Donnie. You'll love this story real quick. 50 people they needed. I recruited 2, 48 from referrals.
Right.
So here's my referral tip. Ready for this? This is what it's all about, capturing a moment. Get a picture with them. As soon as they get hired, you get a picture with them. I call it the hire me handshake. I'm in the picture with them. Guess what? They post on their social media. Before you know it, all their friends are like, well, I want a handshake too from the shark. The rest is history.
Right.
So within 2 weeks, I had 48 referrals. And just putting referral money and stuff, I'm going to be frank. People, they care about money, but that doesn't attract them. They want work-life balance. And if their friend has a job, they probably want to work with their friend or they're jealous because they're like, damn, my friend got a job. I want to join them.
Right.
So I'm thinking, what's the best way? Let them be your recruiters too on social media. And you won't believe it. Every time I take a picture of somebody, they're like, and I crop it, we'll make sure it's all fancy and nice and good.
Yep.
And they're like, dude, can you send that to me? You know how many times like, I'm so busy. Can you get that to me now so I can send it and post it on my Facebook that I got hired? It's a celebration, right? You got a job. Let's celebrate. But what I see out there, Donnie, and I'm not bashing anybody, is picture of the person holding up their first check and says first check Fridays. Boring. Sorry, you get 2 likes. I mean, why not have all these people come in and they help you out too? And then you got a big team effort.
Right. No, I think that's amazing that you're doing that, because I think you're just sharing success. And I think, like you're saying, I mean, there's a lot of motivators of why somebody wants to work with another individual, and it's not always, one thing can be true, but I think people want to work with other people that are successful. And, when people seeing you win, it makes them go exactly like you said. Yeah. Oh, I want a picture with the staffing shark. What's he doing that I can have a part of? So I think that's super cool that you've incorporated that as something that's completely different, out there. I know a lot of people, like you're saying, do celebrate the success of their candidates. And I think if that's all you can do, some people aren't geographically close. I think that's great, but going that extra step, builds your brand as well.
Exactly. And if one other tip again is rural areas have job seekers too. You don't have to saturate the city. And I see so many people will not go 40 miles away because of, trust me, rural areas are dying for people like us to get in there.
Right. Got it. So, being different is a big part of how you're capturing the attention of your candidates. I mean, what other little tips do you have in there?
I think some of the other big tips, big tips, little tips, whatever you want to call it, is, giving free stuff away. Giving equals growth. If it's a seminar or, I have a live podcast that's every Wednesday with, we have guests on from CEOs all the way down to job seekers. On Fridays, I'm going to start it again. It's called Hire Me Fridays. I put job seekers on social media, on LinkedIn, give them away. Hey, you need a job? Come on for 35 minutes on a patio of a local bar and let's talk about it. So then I'm giving, the local restaurant and local bars some publicity too. They can talk about their food menu while we're outside having it. So I think the biggest thing is connecting the community together. You gotta, and they'll buy in. Every community needs people like us to be leaders.
Right.
And I think another big thing is we all have to work together. I think a lot of people don't want to work together because they feel like we're going to steal each other's content. There ain't no secrets, man. There ain't no secret sauce. This. We're humans, right?
Yep.
We're in the human business. I mean, just because your email you think might be better than mine, they both got great mojo in them,
Right. Yep. 100%. Well, I think that comes from, we could make a case of why we shouldn't be on this thing talking to each other. I mean, we're both coaches in the industry, right? We could take a small-minded approach to that, but I think we both know there's an abundance to go around. And I think when you have that mindset and that approach, it makes everything easier.
Exactly. Right. You could be the head coach. I'll be the offense coordinator. It doesn't matter. I don't have to be.
Exactly.
Hey, as long as we get somebody hired or somebody becomes successful through our, content, that's all matters. That's a touchdown for us, man.
Right. So, I've going through this here, I realize how local and how community focused you are. Is that kind of done on purpose? I work with a lot of people and talk to a lot of people that, they might do accounting and finance, but they do it in a larger capacity, almost, I want to even say nationwide in some points in time. But did you intentionally just say, hey, I want to stay within my local community and do this?
No, actually, my concept goes across the whole country. I have jobs across America. So I go into small pockets. If it's Youngstown, Ohio, Charleston, West Virginia, and I connect the community for a whole week.
Got it.
And I do.
You'll actually go on site.
Yes. Yep. So I get it all pre-planned before I go in there, and I find these companies that are looking for workers. I'm there for 4 days, bring the crowd together. Usually, sometimes we have like a little mini concert, with music, and we make it like a job party, which is another avenue. I don't do job fairs. I'm not a fan of job fairs. I'm sorry. I don't sit at a booth. I get bored of that. So if I get bored, they're never gonna get the best out of me. So I like job parties where, we do a Zoom call, play music. We have 20 to 30 people on there. They talk about what they're looking at, what they're looking for. And guess what? Now they see all these other job seekers are just like them. So now they're I'm building a community.
Yep.
Do this 4 times, 5 times a year.
Right.
Just sell 50 job candidates. And guess what it cost you? Zero money.
Yep. No, it's really cool, man. And I think it's another thing that kind of comes up is that you're not just doing online or you're not just doing offline. You're really blending both of those things, and that's probably a big part of your success.
Yes, you got to mix it up. Just like we're doing a defense blitz, man. You got to know when to blitz, know when to do prevent. Yep. And I think a lot of different avenues, you got to just blend in. I mean, if you see the logo, the Staffy Shark, you're gonna laugh at this. St. Patty's Day, it's green. I mean, it'll be black and orange for Halloween. It'll be probably red, white, and blue for the Olympics. It's always changing, and I think that's a big thing too. People like that change. They like that variety.
Right.
If we're stagnant, we're doing the same thing over and over again, it gets boring. And that's the way you're going to attract job seekers. It's just being yourself, but being energetic and engaging them. I mean, when you talk to them on the phone, you have to engage them, Donnie. You know what I mean? You got to let them talk and let them and listen to them and try to solve a problem, you know. But getting back to like the content, it doesn't all have to be about us. Put content out there for them.
Right.
Them. You know, I sit back, Donnie, and when I talk to people on the phone, I sit back like I'm the job seeker. So when I get on that phone, it's not about shark. Yeah, you know, I want to rile them up and get them fired up, but it's all about, how can I help you? When I get off that phone with them, I'm scratching my head like I damn well want to fix this person. And I'm sure you have the same drive I do, man. Like, I don't want every person that talks to me, I want to fix. I want to get them a job. I want to make them successful. I want to make them better than me, because that's what it is. I want to be the bottom shelf and they're all the top shelf. And that's the way I think all the time, man. I want to rise into the top and bring out the best in each person. Everybody has, we go back to football coaching all the time. Everybody has good traits. We just got to bring that out in them.
Right. Yep. No, I love that, man. And it's cool. It's cool talking with you right now. I can see your passion coming through big time.
Hey, I can't fake this, man. Can you?
No, you can't pull. I'm
already pumped up. I don't even have to go to the gym tonight, man. I'm already pumped up just talking.
Burning the calories on the interview. I love it.
Oh. I love
it. So, I mean, what are you seeing out there? Like, what are some of the mistakes that you see kind of recruiting agencies make that are pretty common when it comes to, you know, trying to do outreach for candidates?
I think mass emails, generic stuff, generic content. I got 2 emails yesterday from said my name was Tina. I didn't know I changed my name. It said, Tina, are you interested in a healthcare job? I never did healthcare in my life. I'm like, wow, okay. But it was a generic one. It said, we have this, just this pay and all this. It's not being genuine.
Right.
And if you see any of my job descriptions, like I said, text, I keep it simple. I want to engage them so they can tell me the rest. You don't have to talk about dress code and stuff in a job description. That's gone overboard. And I think a lot of staffing firms do that. And I think they play on Indeed, Career Builder, Monster. They're blaming the job boards. Guys, if I can tell you anything out there, there's only one board I love. It's a surfboard when I go visit my brothers. No, job boards are a supplement. It's like a protein supplement. That's it. It's not your recruiting.
Right.
You got to get out there and make phone calls. You got to, follow up. I think one of the biggest things, a lot of follow-ups.
Yep.
You know how many candidates I talked to and said they've talked to 6 other staffing firms and never heard back from most of them.
Right.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that seems to come up a lot
too. They call them the wrong name. They're on the phone for 1 minute or 2 minutes and they say, well, we got an electrical engineering job. So if you're going to get somebody hired for $100,000 a year, you better spend more than 2 minutes on the phone with them, right?
Right. 100%. And I think you bring up like a bigger, thing in the industry where I think it's probably basic to you and I, but like it's actually reaching out, seeing what they want rather than reaching out, trying to fill a role in finding the actual match. What do you want out of your career and your life? Oh, this happens to be a good fit rather than like, here's this job. I want to put you in it type of a thing.
Exactly. And I think the biggest mistake that I see out there is nobody's out in the field. And yes, I'm in the field all the time. So I know what the job seekers want. I mean, I got another program. Donnie, I don't stop. It's called Restaurant Rescue. I'm going around the local area here to try to find restaurants workers. And guess what? Not charging them a penny. It's free.
Right.
Yeah. If it's KFC and all that, right now I think I put 30 people to work in the last 2 weeks, free. It's something I want to do on the end because I see the restaurant business is just, they need workers. So You know what? I'm going out there trying to pitch it, So, and they're embracing that. So I think we have to be out in the field. I think sitting behind a desk, trying to say, this is what the job seeker wants and needs. You got to ask them, man. You got to ask. And every job seeker I talk to, man, I ask them, I say, what's it like out there, brother? I mean, and they're like, man, it's like a war zone. You know what I mean? And I fight for them too. That's the big thing difference with me being a job agent. I represent them. So you see, I take a little word, which is still, you're a recruiter, and I'm representing them. So now they think, well, I got a job agent. He's free of charge. And now he's going to find me a job.
Right.
Simple words like that. So I think we have to make it simple again. And I think a lot of staffing firms are making this very complicated and complaining. And I always say, you can't complain.
Right.
Strategies, what I always say is, challenges, you can always fix them, right? Struggles equal strategy, right? I mean, you got to have a strategy when there's a struggle. I mean, last year, I'm not gonna lie, I probably put more workers last year than I did 4 years before that when it was booming, because I was jumping into pockets. And I think that's what we got to do. We got to be ourselves again. And just mass emails out there, Donnie, mass emails over and over again. It's not cutting it. And you know that. Even on LinkedIn has got to a point now where I get spam bagged 400 times a day. I don't know about you, man, but I'm spammed all the time. It's like, nobody's going to respond to that.
Yeah. I think as you look at all the different approaches out there, nobody's going to argue that having a personalized touch point is going to be the one that wins and captures the attention the most. And it's always important to look at what the noise is. What is my competition? What is the rest of the market doing? And no matter how you're trying to deliver that, being different, with that delivery is going to be the key to getting that response. And I think that's, like to your point, kind of how you've gone to the text route, because, okay, there's email, there's LinkedIn. Okay, well, how can it be a little bit different? Well, I'll send you a text, right? Obviously, you're not the only recruiter in town sending texts out, but even still, the whole industry hasn't adopted it yet.
Exactly. And when you do your text, make it simple. I mean, you won't believe how many texts I get a day to this welder, because they listen to me. They text to my number,
right?
Simple thing, what they're applying for.
Right.
They tell me their name. Then I got that conversation rolling. See what I mean? I already got the text conversation rolling. It's not like a blind side where you send a mass email and you're like, who are you? It just responded back to me,
Yep.
I'm a firm believer in it. It takes a little bit more time. But look what you're going to get on your ROI. You're going to get so many people.
For those of you that are listening live right now, give Richard a little love. Tap that like or love button down there. Feel free to ask any questions here. I've got a question, if you're willing to share, but, with the whole text thing, like, do you have a platform that you recommend? How are you getting the data for the texting? Like, what is it that's working for you?
There's all kind of platforms out there. I like them all. I mean, from text us to, they all work in their own way, but you have to apply them. I mean, I think the biggest thing, the information you put in, I like the old fashioned sometimes, just, if I have 10 welders applied, I'll just boom, they'll respond back. I'll just respond back with a quick text. But there's so many different avenues. It depends on your volume. I mean, if you got recruiters working on certain projects and they're only working on 3 projects, then they can do that more that personalized,
Right.
The automation stuff, I love it, but you know what? We're all human connection, man. The human connection is still going to be there, Donnie. And it's bigger than ever now. You won't believe how many job seekers I talk to once again, and they say, well, I just get these automated messages from a robot. That's what they think it is, a robot. Right. So it's like, why would you? So job seekers are saying they're fed up with this. Why are we keep inventing that new technology? I mean, the human connection has never gone away. We're never going to have that where we don't put in the work. I mean, you're not going to have an automated system where they go straight to work. I mean, they're trying to do that now with a cell phone. And I did it with one of my previous employers. And guess what? You apply for the job on a cell phone, you never talk to them. 20 people signed up, 3 show up for work.
Right.
Because you have nobody holding them accountable, right? Or talking to them on the phone.
Yeah, well, I think that's, I think people had that big push and thought that artificial intelligence might be able to take over the recruiting, but I think you hit the nail on the head that there's just no way, because, maybe it's some junior level positions, if I'm even, maybe there's a way that you're going to be able to create a little bit more of a process. But when you get especially as you go further up the ladder, you can't put somebody through a system that's going to spit out the right result. That comes from talking, getting a feel, getting to know the person, making that actual connection and match. So I'm 100% with you. I think it's looking about how you can leverage those types of tools to make for more of a human type of experience.
Exactly. And I think another thing is, we all have to be in a great mindset, Donnie. You know, I keep going back to this over and over again, but this industry, I've seen, a lot of people just upset, don't like it. You can't if you don't like recruiting, you're not going to be successful with it. I'm sorry. You're not. You're not. And one thing that I'm going to be coming out in the new blog, I will say, it's what you eat. You are what you eat, man. I'm telling you, you know how many, if you're just drinking a cup of coffee, not eating until 3 o'clock, you're going to be grouchy on the phone. I'm sorry. If I don't eat, I'm grouchy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm never grouchy. So you got to keep that, make sure you eat in the morning and, do your push-ups and laugh and joke, because it's all about having fun.
Right.
This industry's having fun, Donnie. Even though we get stressed out at times, I mean, it's fun. You know it is, my man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said, I think for you, you've figured out what your bigger impact is, right? And I think a lot of people have missed that. For you, you're not just in this industry. And I think that's one of the challenges of the industry, especially interviewing a lot of people on the show, is that there's no barrier to entry. If I want to start a recruiting business, I can start it tomorrow. But then I think that brings up the issue of what you're talking about, is it's the business is a grind. You got to be willing to do the work, and you have to like the work, and I think the people that are most successful in the space at some point, they really like what they're doing. But I think in a bigger point, just like you are, is they're passionate about helping people, and that makes it easier.
And we work 24/7. I think one of the best days to work is Saturday from 10 o'clock to noon. Yep. You make 10 phone calls, you're gonna get 9 people answering their phone. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
And then you do a Thursday, you do 200 calls and get nobody to answer, because that's a prime time. They're home with their family. Donnie, you're answering your phone at 10 o'clock to noon. If somebody's calling you, or if you have a full-time job, you're usually off on Saturdays, right? Working 9 to 5, perfect timing. Even holidays, one thing else I will throw out there, make sure you send your candidates a Christmas, card or something through their email or their text, just so you care about them. I think that's the biggest thing. We gotta show care, and if we care, the rest is care equals careers, man. I'm telling you. And I keep it always down, like, adapt equals achieve. I make it real simple. It's like geometry. One equals another one. And if you think that way, the rest is history, man.
Right. That's awesome, man. Love this. I mean, who would you say are kind of some of the most influential people on your journey in the staffing industry?
Oh my, there's so many of them. I'll say one, he's not in the staffing industry, but somebody that I really, hopefully we'll have on my show someday, Gary Vaynerchuk is incredible. The man, everything that I'm doing is pretty much what he preaches to. Do you notice that? If you see a similar thing, he takes pictures. He has other people posting his stuff. Like he said, you don't have to be the big dog on Twitter. Post other people's stuff, post their content too. You don't have to have the only content out there. And I listen to that to a T. And you know what? In the last 3 years of following what he does, just went through the roof. Donnie, I mean, making yourself you, don't follow the textbook stuff. Yes, we all have certain ways we do recruiting, but at the end of the day, it's about being creative.
Right.
But some of the big ones, we can go to, David Stearns of Haley Marketing. Incredible. I mean, his websites are just beyond means, and a good friend of mine, John Ruffini. I got to mention John Ruffini. He's my co-host on my show, Recruiters with No Limits, on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, always on all social media. Good dude too. But there's so many of them in the industry. Probably the biggest one would be Mike Belavia. It's the first one to give me a start at Peak Technical Staffing. So if I get a shout out to Mike, he's the one that taught me the ropes the first year. And I probably would never be where I'm at right now without him. So there it is.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And it's funny, I got my whole content journey started with Gary V back in like 2007, 2008. Did you ever see his original YouTube channel?
Yes.
So he was doing Wine Library TV. For those of you who don't know, he started basically a YouTube TV show doing wine reviews. And so he was the first guy I followed, and I was working with my dad in the flooring industry. So I turned around and did flooring reviews. And, we actually grew that business and once we started implementing that. So it's funny how Gary V, he's impacted so many people, he doesn't even know it.
and it's amazing just watching his stuff now, it's that positive motivation too that he has, you know what I mean? Yeah. And what I like is he cusses, he keeps it real. Yeah. I mean, He does. I mean, he likes the New York Jets, for goodness sake. I mean, he keeps it real, right?
There's nothing more real than that shit.
I mean, that's like, hey, if you're bragging, hey, I love the Jets year in, year out. It's like, come on, man.
Yep. It means you're signing up for abuse year in and year out if you're a football fan.
Exactly. Well, one day he's going to own it. Gary, if you're out there, buddy, one day, hopefully you'll have it, man. And I'm sure if he owns it, they're going to have a Super Bowl before you know it. You know that, right?
Yep. Right on, Richard. So where can our listeners find you?
Oh, they can find me on all social media platforms at Richard D Rosner or at the Staffing Shark. I'm on everything from TikTok all the way up to LinkedIn. So reach out. If there's anything I can do to help you, man, I'm always here, man.
Excellent. Everyone make sure you connect with Richard. He's a great person to follow on all social media. He will entertain you. He will bring the energy. You don't have to worry about that. Make sure you catch out his podcast on LinkedIn every Wednesday. Richard, thank you for being here today. Thank you for dropping so much value. If you can leave the audience with one last piece of advice, what would that be?
Okay, so here it is. And I say this all the time. You know what? Look in the mirror and say, I love you. Love yourself so you can love other people. Simple as that. I mean, love yourself, then you'll love everybody else around you, and it'll make us a better world. So, hey, remember, we're all in it as a team. We're all a team, man. It's fun. So this is all just embrace each other, man. And that's all I have to say is, man, at the end of the day, I love all you, and I know you want to love somebody else.
Love it, man. I love that positive message to end it. And again, thank you so much for being on the show.